Hari Om everyone. Today's shloka for contemplation is Karma Yoga 3.3. Lokesmin dvi-vidhā niṣhṭhā pura prokta maya naga jnana yogena sankhyanā karma yogena yogina. O sinless one, the two paths leading to enlightenment were previously explained by me. The path of knowledge for those inclined towards contemplation and the path of work for those inclined towards action. Loke, in the world, asmin, this, dvi-vidhā, two kinds of, niṣhṭhā, faith, pura, previously, prokta, explained, maya, by me, Sri Krishna, anagha, sinless, jnana yogena, through the path of knowledge, sankhyanam, for those inclined towards contemplation, karma yogena, through the path of action, yoginam, of the yogis.
Today we are starting third chapter, Karma Yoga. Till last week we were contemplating on chapter 2, which is
Sankhya
Yoga. Yeah. Santoshji, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'll start.
Same sort of,
Yeah. Basically, what Krishna says here is there are two kinds of path, which is already told by me. One is the path of Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, one is Karma Yoga. We can say awareness path and action path. When I say Sankhya Yoga, wherein a wisdom come into picture, what you are not, what we should actually, from the wisdom, what we should gain is from the Jnana, what we are not, we should start living that. And I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. Now, what is avidya? What is anatma? Identifying that and living through jnana, wisdom, and finally arriving what is satya. That is the path of jnana. And action path is called karma yoga, wherein kaya, vacha, manasa, buddhya will come into picture. And here we basically involve body, mind, intellect to do one particular karma, which means kaya physically, vasa means chanting or doing some, praying or chanting something and doing. Manasa means mentally preparing and meditation. Buddhya means intellectually, reading the scripture, understanding. So this karma yoga is a path of action, wherein while here only one activity can be done at a time. Like for example, if I wanted to play football, during football, I can only play football. I cannot, go and eat the food for the 2 hours. Here the action path is always, oriented to one with this this one, kaya, vacha, manasa, buddhya. And here Guruji gives a beautiful example of Ganesha and Subramanya, wherein the Narada will come with a auspicious mango fruit, and he tells who rounds the universe for 3 times, they will be granted this auspicious fruit. Then Subramanya will take his vehicle Peacock, and within span of few minutes he will just around the universe for 3 times. And Ganesha with a small mouse, he get down and he actually takes 3 rounds of Shiva and Parvati. And when Subramanya comes and asks Parvati, where is the fruit? I have done it soon. Then she says, go and ask your brother Ganesha. So when Subramanya approaches Ganesha, Ganesha says that, Shiva is a Chaitanya and Shakti. When Shiva Shakti is there in front of me, that is what the universe is. When I take 3 rounds, the universe has been completely covered. Which means to say, from the perspective of Jnana, Ganesha represents the wisdom of Jnana. By Jnana, he identified, Shiva Shakti as the, universe, and he just came round around. And as a path of action path represents Subramanya, wherein he went around performing, the action. So here, that is what that represents. Whatever the Krishna represents, the story also represents the same thing. When Ganesha does the round, with the wisdom and the jnana, the fruit was given to him. That is the, straightforward path. And the persons who still they wanted to get the Chitta Shuddha, and, then they have to go to the action path. And, by jnana, by, surrendering to the God, doing the service, getting Chitta Shuddha, and slowly, they'll come to the root. Here, basically, jnana represents going to the root, and where I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, and, identifying what is Satya, what is Mithya. But here also the same approach, but it is a one way up. I mean, it is direct. It comes from the hierarchical order. This is straightforward. In our software we say, right, waterfall module. We'll go to first. It start from top. Slowly we'll come one by one, like that. I mean, and also here, the one more example, like Guruji also gives about the tree. Action path oriented person will actually cut the branches and again cut the trunk. Slowly will come to the root and cut. But where the jnani will directly go to the root and drill the hole wherein he makes sure the tree falls. I mean, here the tree represents a samsara, wherein the path what we choose depends upon the individual, where he stands with respect to the jnana what he has. This the shloka.
So the one question I have is, with the Sankhya Yoga, Krishna explained the truth, which
Yes.
you got it, right?
Mm.
Now, why did he go and continue on the karma now?
See, that's what it again depends upon the jnani's past life karmic impressions which are present in the as a ajnana or a vasanas. That purely depends upon the individual who has chosen the path of Atmajyana, or this one. So here it again, see, karma yoga is also required, wherein karma yoga is also a kind of chitta shuddhi, but Sankhya yoga is a direct jnana, wherein already they see, for example, if you go and ask Ramana Maharshi will directly say, who are you? Inquire, who are you? But if you go to Swami Vivekananda, you will just tell, go do the service, or go to Amma, they'll say, just go do the service. In that service, what happens is, without expectation, the action actually brings the clarity of mind and intellect. That again gives the Chitta Shuddha. From that again will come to the Jnana. It again depends upon the individual where he stands.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Santosh.
Thank you.
Krishna ji.
Yeah, so it's very similar with what Santosh ji told. So one can understand who we are and experience our life through two ways. One is through jnana and one is through the action. Jnana is like getting to know, fixing the root. As Prabhuji also explained, with the example of tree, cutting a tree and all, like go to the root and find what is actually truth is, and then perform the action. So what I interpret to myself is these two are in a sequence, and the best one is to take first is the jnana, which help us to understand who we are and what are we ignorant of and everything, and then and after understanding it clearly and who we are, then perform the karma, the action. So these two are in a sequence. That's how I interpret it.
Yeah, so with jnana alone, will you be able to continue to live and perform the karmas?
Yeah, jnana is required to understand the truth, right? Then we have to perform the action. That is karma.
Okay.
No, Krishna ji.
Yeah, please.
Krishnaji, sorry to interrupt.
Go
Saravanan.
ahead.
Okay, yeah.
Now, what I wanted to say is only jnana will not lead us to the path until and unless the seva bhava, the seva, the whatever we do without expectation, right? The seva is the one which brings, seva means, performing the actions without expectation, and karma phala, which means that will actually gives the clarity of mind and intellect. In that, the jnana, the jnana will actually come. Then you will actually, go to that path. I mean, without action, it's just like it goes parallelly. I mean, some people will go directly to that path. They have already chitta shuddha has happened. Some people has to go this path and again come to this path. I mean, some people will go parallelly with that. It again depends upon the individual where he stands. Correct me if I'm wrong, Saranji.
Yeah, so the question is, so with the Jnana Yoga, the core teaching is you are not what you are thinking, that this body or mind, the intellect, right? You are the one beyond these changing ones. All the three are changing constantly, right? And so we are getting the knowledge that I am the one that is unchanging one, right? Now the question is, okay, I got this knowledge. Now, but throughout the day, I'm involved in doing some action, right? So with this knowledge, how do I approach the action? Can I, how does it influence the way I perform the action? Right. So that's where I feel the karma yoga comes into play, where Sri Krishna explains in detail about karma, what is karma, and like how the karma needs to be performed, and what is the consequence of karma. Right, all those things will come into play. So both will help, and as you said, one cannot avoid doing karma, right? Rather, the karma helps in chitta shuddhi, in the in getting in purifying the mind, because at the end of the day, the entire life is lived through this mind, right? Throughout the day, or the thoughts are the ones that drive the actions. So the mind is the place where which needs to be purified and which needs to settle down.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krishnaji, want to add any more?
No, Sarvanji, that's also
Okay.
same. Like first is the jnana, and then use jnana to perform action. Yeah.
Okay. Deepaji?
Yeah, sir. There are two paths to the enlightenment. One is the path of knowledge, and other is the path of work, the jnana yoga and karma yoga. Jnana, just going with jnana will be difficult, because I think very few are successful in it. It may be due to the past life impressions, and I personally feel jnana along with the karma yoga would be the better path. And coming to karma yoga, we live with our family, and we do our karmas. But still, though we are living with them, here gradually, I think some kind of detachment would happen in the future. Because through experience, we actually get to know the nature of things, and our mind may let them all go at last, and so we may become unattached. That is, we are making use of these bondages to break those bondages. living with our family, like in Jnana Yoga, if I'm not wrong, the monks, they go with just the Jnana Yoga. They leave their family and go stay in an ashram, and they just go with the Jnana Yoga. But we live in the family, and we are making use of these bondages themselves to break those bondages. So this is how Karma Yoga will help it, but it's a slow and gradual process. Non-attachment here happens through experience itself. Whereas for the people who offer Jnana Yoga, it is by logically thinking and reasoning. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Taranji.
Okay. Can you explain this? You said non-attachment happens by experience.
Yeah. We live with our family. We are so much attached to them. We attend the we attend the satsangs here, try to apply all the knowledge that we get in our life, doing our karmas. So what happens is, when we apply the knowledge that we get through these sessions, we may slowly become unattached to them, and let them, I mean, our mind may let them all go.
Is that what you're looking for, or you feel like that will happen?
That will happen, but
Okay.
it's slow and gradual, I feel. We may become detached.
And you're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward for that.
What is the problem now?
If Jnana Yoga had to work, I have been attending these classes for the past 1.5 years, but Jnana Yoga is helping me in this, but it's not that easy, I feel. But when it comes to Karma Yoga, I think living with our family members, being attached to them, and then while we are applying this knowledge that we are gaining from the sessions in our life, we will see the true difference between how it was earlier and how it is now. So I feel that detachment will happen.
Okay. And do you know how it's leading towards that, or you're still looking for it?
Looking forward for it, Saravananji.
Okay.
It may take many years.
Okay. So today, if I have to put it in my own words, the attachment is leading to samsara because you want to see the best outcome for the family.
Yeah.
And maybe that causes worries.
When my child is participating in some competitions, due to attachment, I would be wanting her to win.
Yeah, I have seen that. Naturally it comes maybe, but okay. So you want your child to win, okay?
That would be
and what happens if your child wins?
No, nothing would happen. But as a human, I feel, a human being, I feel these are all due to the past life impressions that we have this kind of feelings in our mind, and to get rid of those impressions is really very difficult, how much ever we try. She participated in sport competitions, but she didn't win any competitions. Though I was thinking she should win at least one prize she should get. This is because of my attachment towards her. So if there is detachment, then nothing would matter. Whether she wins or not, she is my child. Even now it is so, but we'll have that thing in mind. If my child would have won, she would have been happy.
So you are unable to be in that state now, is it?
Be in the state in the sense when
Where
she,
like even if she doesn't win, you are unable to remain in the you are unable to be in contented state.
yeah, at least for some time, until I start applying the jnana. Until then, I'll be a little on the low side.
And is it because like you feel you are putting efforts
I can't
for
put
her
in
success?
efforts, isn't it?
Efforts for her for your daughter's success?
Oh yes, Saravanaji. There was a science model competition held, and she went with electrolysis of water, and the results are yet to come. But still, the mind says she must win one.
Okay.
Though there is knowledge, not able to apply that knowledge.
I think we already covered
Don't
that.
think about it too.
So we covered that shloka, right, where Krishna says you only have the right to perform the action, but not the right over the result. But we are unable. You like when you are finding it difficult to apply it in real life.
Yeah, because I prepared her for that particular competition. I'm not able to apply that. I'm still expecting.
Yeah, but
Mind
I
goes
just
on
want to
thinking
understand
about
why.
it.
In
Then
the sense, what if the child doesn't win? How does it change, if at all, change anything?
if the child doesn't win, we'll be sad for some time. But then it's all normal, Saravananji. Then we'll come back to normal.
Right? Yeah. So it is to do with the mind. At the end, I see that the mind is or like looking for that happiness from the result via the child, right? And for that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, Saravananji.
Okay. Thanks. Nice, Deepaji. Aisha ji, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good.
Still there. For Ravi, so I
Still the connection is there.
yeah, because he said we are leaving, so I texted. After that, he's still not come.
Yeah,
Okay,
would you like to add?
Sir, I didn't hear much because I was doing other things. I thought I had disconnected, but I don't know. In the shloka, I feel, when you understand the truth, it's like in layman's language, if I have to say as a kid, small kid's language, we usually say that when you're learning or when you're reading something, try to understand the meaning of it so that it's easier for you to put it into action. Right? Even when you're studying for anything, we will try to understand the meaning of it or how it is done, the inside path. Even if you're learning a math table, we will try to understand how does the table work instead of just mugging up. That I feel is like knowledge when you get in depth and understand why things are as it is. So action is something when something is, when we want to do something without thinking, we'll just jump and do it. But I think in reality, like in everyday's life, sir, sometimes, not always, sometimes action comes before contemplation, I feel. Not always, yeah, but sometimes we have to act. Maybe, like for instance, you know,
You have been acting
maybe in the border,
throughout
yeah,
till now.
in the yeah, in the border also, when army is being, somebody is shooting you, if you sit and think, why is that fellow shooting, or is that a villager, is that a terrorist, is that army, that much of contemplation cannot be possible everywhere. That much of thinking, yeah, later we can think how to solve it without violence. But in certain places, I think the action comes before,
Okay.
and then as a result of our action, then we contemplate on it. We'll first take the result and then we will analyze why did we get this result.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel it, in real life, yes, I think I heard half of what Deepaji was saying, that, we put in an effort, we want to win certain things.
Mm.
We put in an effort.
Yeah.
Know that it doesn't matter, winning and losing doesn't matter. All it mattered is that you showed interest, you gained knowledge through experience of doing it. We know all that in our mind, but when they are announcing the result, all what you're looking at is winning. So, that's, we need, the problem is that need of result for your action is more, but when you're doing it, but the thing is, no, I feel that even if you're doing it, it is a long process. When you are analyzing things, contemplating it, and doing it in life, it's a long process, but it's a short win. But when it comes to, doing things instantly, it's like gambling. You might be right, you might not be in the right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, taking the same context, right? Example. Say if the child wins, it doesn't mean that the game is over, right? It goes on. There is, right? So at the end of the day, it is not about that one particular thing, but as you said, like doing the best. That is where I think we will see a lot more details of why we do and how to do, and what is that mistake that is done, and what should be avoided. Will come going forward.
Ananji, I think when you win without analyzing, the form of what we use next time will be the same. Okay, for example, like just take the latest example of a cricket team. The only thing that it is, they won 10 times. Okay, so they use the same strategy. One guy goes and, without thinking, he wants to get runs. Okay, he didn't even analyze, this is a different strategy, the pitch is different or whatever. I don't like that game much, but yeah, they didn't analyze. I won 10, so we did 10 times what we have done. Let's do it for the 11th time. So the result was expected that we will win. But unfortunately, the ones who analyze the game, they analyze the situation they are in, the better they perform, the better they won. It's sometimes it happens that when you win, you use the same. It's like mixing for what you call that perfume also. You mix the right one, you get a nice smell, you use that formula. That's it. You won't even change.
There is another view was given, which actually I felt like aligns, since you brought it up, aligns with karma yoga, which is it's told that for the Indian team, with having won all the games, and playing in front of the home crowd, they had lot more uh, or like tension or worries to lose. Okay, and like they were afraid of losing, while for the Australian team have not having a great track record to start with and not playing in front of a home crowd, they just went and played. Okay, so the thing is like how you perform an action, right? As you are doing, if you are already looking at the outcome, if you're thinking about the outcome and focusing more on the outcome, you basically uh, go through that struggle during while performing the action itself. While for someone like
Very
who's
true.
right, so like
The pressure
writing exams, right?
for
You can apply to
yes,
any example and see.
I think the pressure for winning is actually causing losing, because when you're doing something, you will think I should win. If I don't win, the opposite of it is I will lose.
Yes.
So that I think even in that Gita and Subramanya Swami, so I want to come first was Subramanya Swami's uh, motive, I guess. So he just, as soon as he said, on your marks, get set, go and go, 3 rounds. But it was not like, I want to come before my brother. It was like, I will do what is right, what is actually my universe. So, well, the pressure was not that to come first. Again, this is from Isha Sadhguru itself. Sadhguru Jagu Vasudev. He had told one of the video, like, when you are looking at a result which says, I want to come first, it's not a success, it's not enjoyment. Because when do you actually come first? When there is somebody who's coming second. So you have overtaken somebody. No, you are defeating somebody and you are enjoying that success. So that is not actually enjoyment, that is a disease. Because every time you want to see somebody fail, that is not a nice positive feeling. It's actually you have a disease in you.
Agree. Yeah, the whole scoring system itself is, if you can see it that way, instead of
Yeah, I want to be first. That means they want some child to be not get first.
yeah, while the objective should be that everyone excel in what they are learning, so that they
Exactly.
can apply it. It's
Exactly. Went to moon, let everybody go to moon. It's not that, everybody else satellite should fail there.
okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Ishaji. Sashti ji, do you like to share?
Yes, sir, Anandji.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I agree with the Isa ji. Like, I am just taking the example of Indian team, like which last week they lost to Australia for the final. So actually, you already know, like we have a spinner called Ashwin, who has asked to the coach of the Australian team. He has taken an interview, like how you could win the match like that. He just interviewed at that time. He opened one secret, like this is how we analyzed and then we just performed like that. So you already know, like in the pitch we have like black soil and red soil. So you already know, like comments has already taken the photo of the pitch and he analyzed and then he had a discussion with the management and then they have deserved. So actually, he was telling, like in the afternoon session, it was like black soil, so it won't be able to much in batting. It is not good for batting. And also, evening time in India, we usually have the dews. If the dew is there, then it is very difficult to bowl the opposition because of the slowness in the pitch, or you can say like some kind dew is like we can't bowl normally. So he was and in that time dew is also coming. So so he was telling like that is the way we analyzed, and when we were batting it is like a red soil, so that it comes nicely to the batsmen when play in the night. So that is how we practiced, and we won like that. He was informing to Ashwin, so that Ashwin was not able to ask up even after any more questions further. He was just silent. So he know the reason like why Australian team went.
Okay.
So this is
How
what
will you apply that to this sloka?
so like that way we have to analyze all the things like so black
For doing
soil.
action.
Black soil, I would say, is like the knowledge of the knowledge
Okay.
karma,
Okay.
knowledge one like that. Yeah, that one. And when you are coming about the red soil, it is the work.
Okay.
Yeah. So by actually, as per my understanding, God will accept like if you do both the things same time, you are good to reach me out. You should have both the bhakti jnana and karma jnana. Both, if you have, and if you want, if you come, I will you will reach me. I will accept both the ways. This is what I just understood, and that's what I have for this one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Shivaji.
Yeah, I agree with what Santosh ji put it very nicely. And if I have to take it personally, how I have applied, it started with karma yoga, or like doing service and chanting, japa, meditation, and studying of the scriptures. That's how it started. And then now I am in the path of jnana. I just had one question. I had a doubt, Vijay sir, if he could clear it up. When we say the path of karma yoga, we have kaya, vacha, manasa, buddhya. In that buddhya, it is studying on understanding of scriptures. So from there, we take the jnana yoga path, which is the path of awareness, or is there a difference, or it's a continuous process?
The short answer is, yeah, the fundamental ignorance. Where is the ignorance? In the mind. How ignorance plays out when you're deciding, you always decide based on who you think you are. So which is the identity that you bring to the decision making process. And where is that used? In your intellect. So the intellect operates on the knowledge you have when deciding. So for example, if let's say there is a situation where somebody is trying to, let's say, stab you, now you want to protect yourself, which is quite natural. Now, after that process is over, how do you respond to that situation? So you may say, okay, how can that person try to kill me? So from where that killing me kind of a feeling is coming, me is what? Kill me, who is me that, that other person was trying to stab? So there is a thinking which is saying that, okay, I'm this person, I'm this body. So they try to kill this. So they hurt this. So where is this thinking happening? And where is this decision? They try to hurt me, and I need to now take a revenge on them. Where is this happening? Through your intellect.
Yeah.
And in that intellect, you have taken an identity of something related to your body and mind, right? So which is the most fundamental form of ignorance? Who you think you are is your fundamental ignorance. So where is that? In the intellect, while deciding, right?
Yeah.
So that's where there is a great analogy. If intellect is like the knife, the hand holding the knife is like the identity or the ego, and it is operating on the information coming in through the senses and whatever the story that you have in the mind, right? So it is this information that you're processing, and you're dissecting, you're dissecting, and you're deciding, right? So who's holding the hand when you're deciding anything? As what are you deciding? that is your fundamental bondage.
Hmm.
Who you think you are. So therefore, that ignorance has to be removed, and that cannot be removed through any kind of an action. That ignorance can be removed only through clarity or through clear understanding that I am, whoever I think I am, is a false entity.
Hmm.
So therefore, clarity about who I am has to be
Clear.
needed, right?
Hmm.
Which is a root.
Hmm.
So therefore, when that is removed, then naturally everything else drops.
Okay.
If that is properly realized, if that is clearly realized, and you're established in that, because the basis of all other is like a house of cards.
Hmm.
See, you have built a big house of cards, but there may be one small thing. When you pull that, rest everything falls, right?
Hmm.
So like that, what is that one thing which is on which everything else is constructed? It is the fundamental ignorance that I am somebody, which manifests as I think, who I think I am, right? So that identity is the root of all subsequent outcomes because of that ignorance.
Mm.
And how can that be removed? Through clarity. And where is clarity seen? In the intellect.
Mm.
And how can you bring clarity? Through right knowledge.
Mm.
So that is why jnana alone can remove the ignorance, and jnana alone can liberate.
Mm.
However, for the jnana to work, mind has to be receptive.
Mm.
So the receptiveness is achieved by quietening the mind, which is what is referred as chitta shuddhi. Right now, for contemplation to happen, over all of us, we have to sit here quietly, ask a question, listen to the others, contemplate, right? If the mind is constantly jittery, is running behind what I should do, okay, how much more time, where I should go, that hasn't happened, this hasn't happened, tomorrow what will happen? If the mind is constantly bombarded with those kinds of thoughts, then contemplation or jnana cannot happen. So to quieten the mind, some kind of a practice is needed. So that practice is the karma yoga. So, and that is the chitta shuddhi. So through chitta shuddhi, you prepare the mind for the jnana. And when the jnana comes, then the clarity emerges. Does that answer your question?
I don't know. I wanted to know whether this from the buddhi only through the study of scriptures and understanding of it, we get to the path of awareness, right? So it's a continuous process.
What is jnana? Jnana means knowledge. How do you get knowledge?
Through these things. So it's a continuous. So my question was it continuous or is it different? So you mean to say it's continuous?
So for example, I don't know how to cook biryani. So you first learn. Somebody comes and teaches you. You learn. But while doing it, you make some mistake. Then you go and correct that mistake by asking, okay, this is the process I followed. They say, no, you missed this step. So you correct. So like that, after a while, somebody will start coming and saying that, wow, Shubhaji's biryani. Like Amma's biryani, there's Shubhaji's biryani.
Yes, I got the point. Yeah, thank you.
I guess the way I understood Shubhaji is karma is doing action, and even study of scriptures is can be seen as a karma. That is also action.
Yeah.
Right. So in that way it falls under karma yoga, where you are studying.
Yeah, it happens simultaneously.
Simultaneously.
Yes. Yeah. Because in our life, for example, as an example, in our lives, we we have to do our karma and then follow the scriptures also. We can't just say I'm not going to cook today, I'm not going to take care of my family today, I can't give up my karma and then get into this. So that is my
So the start is still under the
Karma.
Karma Yoga, but
Yes.
Jnana Yoga, the way I see it, is like being one with that jnana, which we have learned, right? Being one with it. That's that's how I saw it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I just want to add one more. The way I was looking at this is, what is the situation context here? Arjuna is in the war field, and he has to fight, and he is unable to fight. He is confused, and that's where he surrenders to Shri Krishna and seeks help. And the Sankhya Yoga followed. Krishna explained him, what you should know who you are not this body, mind, all those things. And kind of, okay, looks like good. But then he is still in the war field, right? So there has to be clarity on, okay, what should I do now with the action part? I figured out everything. Okay, that's where I felt, okay, now you should also know how, like, not to avoid action, how not to run away from action, but like how to do that action, which is how to do your duties in the right way, right? That's where the Karma Yoga comes, that it is not that I gave you the jnana. It doesn't mean that like you have to go and take sannyasa and just sit in a forest and contemplate to get moksha. You can continue with that knowledge. You can continue to do your action the way it's prescribed, and that will help. That is very much needed for your mind to be purified. So that's where I see this shloka falls. Like, it says why one should know how to do karma. And so then with that I will stop. Yeah, Vijayji.
So first let's understand enlightenment, because we're talking about enlightenment here. Krishna is saying two paths leading to enlightenment. What does enlightenment really mean? And who is the one who is seeking enlightenment? First, let's understand that clearly. Enlightenment, each one of us may have certain idea of enlightenment. Depending upon what kind of stories we have heard, we may have certain imagination about enlightenment. One of us may have the imagination that enlightenment means one day I'll be sitting and suddenly some explosion happens, and suddenly tears will flow through my eyes. I will not be there, or I will become like the light. Whoever I touch, I can create some mystical experience. So like that, depending upon what kind of stories we have heard, enlightenment may mean different things, because our culture is ripe with so many stories. There are so many stories, especially if you've read books which relate a lot of mystical experiences. Some mystical experiences say after enlightenment, one master could go from one body to another body. All these kinds of imagination may be in our mind. So therefore, it is very important to know what is enlightenment. So, is enlightenment an outcome of what you do, or is it something else? If it is something else, what it is? We have to, first of all, be very clear about it. So, enlightenment, for a moment, let's assume that enlightenment is something that I get by doing. Let us look at the nature of our life. Whatever I get in life. Please see, I go and pay money and I get bonda. Where will it be after some time? Some in my stomach, some in the other stomach, and tomorrow in the toilet, right? That is the fate of the bonda. So whatever comes, goes. Whether it is bonda, whether it is gold, whether it is a car, whether it is, even your so-called degree. So proudly, all of us went to college, we got our degrees. Now, you have that piece of paper which says you are XYZ. But today, as an example, whatever your XYZ, with that, if you go and apply to a new job, they will say, no, you are too old for all this. They will kick you out, right? Today, your degree is no more valid. Oh, you studied some 20 years back. This is useless. All this technology we no more use. Whether it's technology or accounting principles or whatever nonsense, useless. Oh, so the degree is also useless. That also goes away. So what is that is permanent then? So whatever you get in life through your effort, it is bound to, after some time, be lost. Is it not? So then, if enlightenment is something that I get by doing something, what use it is? Because it is anyway bound to be lost. So therefore, we have to clearly understand what is enlightenment. Enlightenment essentially is, I have forgotten, I have come into some kind of a wrong understanding about who or what I am. That is the fundamental cause of all other tension, stress, worry in life. Look at what is the beginning point of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is in Vishada. Arjuna is crying. When Arjuna stops crying and he says, Krishna, help me, what is the first thing that Krishna taught? Hey, you are thinking wrongly, change your thinking. That is the first thing that Sri Krishna started with. You speak so nicely like a Pandita, but your actions are not like that. A Pandita is not at all really worried about the change that is happening. That is how Sri Krishna begins the whole storytelling, the whole truth telling in Bhagavad Gita. That you are something that is not changing. Realize that. He did not say, breathe. He did not say, go and sit under the tree. He did not say, go and climb this mountain. Then I will tell you. He did not do anything. Then you will realize. He did not say any of that. He simply said, look, you are simply crying over what? Doesn't require any crying. Means what? There is a mistake in understanding. It is like some fellow, some lady who had a pearl necklace was wearing, but suddenly forgot that she was wearing it. And all over the place, she is making a ruckus. I have lost, I've lost, I've lost. Everybody is searching. Then somebody says, look, I'm seeing some necklaces. Oh, this is the necklace I'm searching. Was it ever lost? No. So now you can say, oh, she was unenlightened about her necklace. Now she's enlightened about her necklace. But another way of saying is, she just had forgotten that she was wearing. Now she has recognized that she has it. So in the same sense, enlightenment, as Vedanta says, as Bhagavad Gita says, even Sri Krishna has said, is your own error in recognition of your true self. We all have gotten into who I think I am. You know who I am? And when we say whatever, when we complete that sentence, you know who I am? I am an engineer who's passed out from this college. I am a man, I am a woman, such and such. I have so much of degree, I have so much of wealth. We define ourselves through our degree, our relationship, who we know. So we have become so accustomed to defining who I am through whatever I have gathered in this life. So enlightenment simply means it's okay. Whatever you have gathered is okay. Nothing wrong with it. But recognize that who you think you are is your true bondage. However great you may be thinking about yourself, I am the greatest mathematician. That is your bondage. I am an Indian. That is your bondage. I am a Christian. That is your bondage. Who you think you are is your bondage. Fundamentally. Because who you think you are, the moment there is something that is not in agreement with it. Because is everyone in the world an Indian? No. There is, of course, your arch enemy, Pakistani. So the moment the Pakistani comes, you already are in some kind of a turmoil. So is everyone in this earth a man? No. Or a woman? No. Or intelligent? No. So the moment you think you are very intelligent in math, the moment somebody is not so intelligent comes, you have a, I don't want to talk to them. Or if the moment somebody better than you in math comes, you already are jittery. You're feeling a little low, jealous, right? So who you think you are is your fundamental prison that you've built for yourself. So how to come out of that prison? Very simple, no? You thought yourself into that. So you have to think out of that, isn't it? It is like the knife is both a killing instrument as well as a healing instrument. Depends upon how you use. If a thorn has gone into you, it is with another thorn only you can remove. So like that, right knowledge can liberate you. Because what is the prison you have created? It's a prison of the ignorance. What is the ignorance? Ignorance of the self. Who I am. What am I really? How can you come out of that prison? By asking that question, who am I? What am I really? And what is the answer you receive? Is your liberation. So, is your recognition, because you cannot be something else. You recognize your true nature. When you recognize your true nature, that is enlightenment. So, in that sense, enlightenment is not an event that will happen one day. It is not something that I will keep doing this, one day something magical will happen. However, for this recognition to become stable, it feels like there is a time and effort. Even like how Deepaji said, I've been attending these satsangs for some time. Correct. So there is a time. And I've been attending. But what is happening in the process? Slowly, my deeply held belief system is being questioned. Every time I come, and these people here say, don't be attached to fruits of action. But I go to a competition, I feel sad. Why are they saying simply out of, theoretically? No, I see also some, people like Prabhuji and Mata, they seem to be simply laughing for no reason. There must be something here. Okay, let me continue, right? So like that, we propel ourselves. And as we continue to keep listening, keep looking at the situation, because the discussion has to happen within me, is it not? At the end of the day, who pushed me into this prison of ignorance? Who thought about me as whatever I'm thinking, who I am? I only must have known. Society might have told whatever, but who accepted all that? I'm a man, I'm a beautiful man, or a ugly man, or a whatever that nonsense that I'm thinking, though society might have given it to me, Who has accepted and right now has made that as my fundamental prison? I only. So who can come out of this then? I only. How? Through proper understanding. How? By understanding the right knowledge. How? By listening to someone who seems to be, whoever I have faith in. Whoever I have faith in. Because for this to work, I have to have faith in somebody. Because this knowledge, when it comes, first it comes from outside. So I have to have faith in Krishna, Madhava, Gopala, Prabhuji, Amma, whoever. Have full faith. Then understand. This is the fundamental ignorance, and it can be removed only through clarity, clear understanding. However, there are so many impressions that we have gathered from so much of things we have done. And the fundamental bondage is, you know how much I have done, you know what I should get. Even the I want to be enlightenment is in a way coming out of that. I want enlightenment. That I is seeking enlightenment. Enlightenment is a fruit now. And you know how much pranayama I'm doing, you know how much meditation I'm doing, you know how many paltis I'm doing, how many temples I'm visiting. I am doing all that. God, open your eyes, give me enlightenment. So that I is now gotten into game of enlightenment. So this I, therefore, has to first of all become little relaxed. Because this I know is very goal-oriented. Because all through life, this I has been trained to aim on something, go for it, work for it, get it. When you get it, celebrate it. If you don't get it, keep working. So it's gotten into doing, getting. I am the doer and I have to get the fruit, right? Because there are two planes. There is a being and there is an action plane. In the action plane, you do something, you put a seed, you put water, and the fruit comes. You've seen it. And you also, I studied for 16 hours a day, and I cracked math exam and I got 100 marks. Yeah, correct. So study hard, do well, try. We get into all such social thinking, no? So we have
and
to
share the social network.
and share. So somebody says I did that meditation. Now I feel so peaceful. So I also have to. I went to that camp. They gave me some secret mantra. So now I'm chanting. I feel whoa. So suddenly my 3 chakras have opened up. 4th one, is still opening up. Half it has opened. So like that, I get into some kind of a doing mindset, right? Whether it is in my professional life or my spiritual life, doing becomes my predominant way of getting whatever I want to get. So how to come out of this prison of doership and enjoyership? So therefore, Shri Krishna is saying, I cannot help you by simply telling you that you are already free. Because that will be misunderstood then. Aham Brahmasmi, simply one cannot go on repeating Aham Brahmasmi. There is somebody who coming and insulting you. They are insulting me, but I know I am Brahma. So like that, this ego, no, it can take various shapes and forms and hide. So when that tendency, when the vasanas are acting and that prison of doership and enjoyership is there, how to come out of that first? Because the jnana has to be received in the right light. That you are not this body, mind and intellect. That's enough. From Sadguru, coming from Sadguru, that is enough. to become free. Because the fundamental ignorance is what? That I am somebody. And what can remove that? I am not that. Job done. But for that to truly go, some foundation work has to be done, depending upon, again, the tendency of that individual mind. So, therefore, there is karma yoga. Do whatever the work that you are doing as a service. Why? When you do what you are doing as a service, the tendency of the mind to seek the fruit of the action. Service means what? Krishna has already taught us. Panchamaha yagnas. Yagna means what? You are offering into that fire. Whatever you offer into the fire, will it come back to you? It will burn and become bhasma. So in the same attitude, you offer your work. You offer your work as a service. And therefore, he has given us Panchamaha yagnas. So when you keep offering, the tendency of the mind to, I want that result. The result orientation, meaning what? I want that result, the fruit of the action. The tendency of the mind to latch onto the fruit of the action becomes weaker. Then Sri Krishna also teaches us, you are not the doer. Realize you are not the doer. So the doership also has to weaken. When the enjoyership, doership weakens, then the mind develops certain qualities, certain state of being calm, being patient. Okay, I did something, it did not work out, and it failed. Earlier, I used to jump up and down. Now, I'm saying, okay, what can I learn from it? So now the mind, instead of asking I want enlightenment, it is able to simply keep doing the work. Now, such a mind is ripe for jnana. So now when the jnana comes, that's fundamental ignorance, which is the basis, like how you have to go to the root and remove the root, then the tree falls, that root will then be removed. So in that way, Sri Krishna is telling us how you can reach that recognition. That is the focus of this shloka. To add to that, whatever Sharavananji said is, post this clarity, how does that individual who has attained this clarity, how does he function in the world? When you see the life of an enlightened being, a jnani, whether it's Prabhuji, Mata Amritanandamayi, Ramana Maharshi, how did they function in the world? So that functioning in the world is no more a functioning before enlightenment, or no more the way a person who still thinks I am somebody functions in the world. Because there is no more an individual doership and claiming the ownership. And therefore, no one claiming the results. So in a way, there is only a universal existence that is flowing. The only way you can express that is there is a universal power that is just simply flowing, which is what you and I would refer as Ishwaratva. So therefore in a jnani, it's a Ishwaratva that is simply a flow. Simply it flows, because the nature of the existence is being and flowing. There is a beingness, and that beingness is not a static. it is continuously flowing also. There is a happening. So there is Shakti, right? There's a Shakti aspect which is constantly changing. There's a Shiva aspect, the consciousness. So Jnana and this Shakti. So in that sense, post-enlightenment, Jnana and Karma are not too different. They're not too separate. They are the one whole. Two sides of the same coin. So like that, prior to enlightenment, enlightenment means what? Recognition of who or what you are. So prior to enlightenment, Jnana Marga means intellectually coming to the clarity of who I am. So now, no more I do with individuality as the identity. No more that individual is doing. That notion goes away through Jnana. And to come to that clarity, action helps to prepare. Because ultimately, it is the ignorance. So Jnana alone can remove this ignorance. And karma, seen as action, can aid to come to that step. And when it has become stable, then there is only pure happening. Is there any question that is coming up or any additional statements that anybody wants to make?
Vijayji,
Yeah.
so my question is not fully formed, so help me to, yeah, I would state it, I'll put it better to state it well. So when we say, I'm not the doer, what actually it means? We are the one, we do it, right?
Okay. So let's take a very simple example, which is what Prabhuji usually uses in the classes. So, right now you're breathing, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you breathing?
Air.
Air. Did you manufacture the air?
No.
Do you know how much air has to go to which part of your lungs?
Don't know.
You know exactly how it flows, and from that air, how the exact energy is taken out and given to your different cells of the body.
Nothing. I don't know.
Right now, the air is coming from, we say a tree. Did you make the tree? And the tree is on the earth, which itself is a big ball of mud rotating and going in this open space. Did you make it? For the basis of whatever you are doing, all these things are happening. Now, you are looking at one small pixel and claiming, I am doing. Are you doing? Without all of this, can you claim whatever you're claiming as I have done? Right now, you and I are sitting and having a contemplation on some instrument that both of us are calling as computer. If this computer wasn't there, this very exchange of whatever the idea couldn't have happened. Yeah. And for that computer, so many inventions have happened. And for those inventions, so many knowledge from so many cultures for thousands of years has contributed towards to this single thing called as a computer. If there was no zero invented by some great mathematician, today this computer couldn't have worked. And we don't even know exactly how many thousand years back that was invented. And each of the little things that are making up this computer are contributed by so many things have come together to make this happen. What part of it is that you and I can say, I have done? Right now, I'm expressing through some language called as English. Have I done the English? To say right now, I have to use the vocal cord. Do I know what all has to happen in the vocal cord? Am I doing the vocal cord? Because to say I have done, that I am the doer, I must then know all these things, no? So what is happening? I have simply come and put a stamp of my identity and saying that I have done. So I put a seed in the ground and put some water, and tomorrow a tree comes and it's giving mango fruit, and I am guarding my mango. Somebody else comes, I'm beating them. Why? I have put the seed. Did I create the water? Did I make the earth? Did I bring the air? Did I bring the sunlight? Did I bring all those microorganisms which have made that earth fertile? All those birds which help to do little things. Millions of things happen to create one outcome. What part of it is that I am claiming?
Yeah. In one way, yeah, it's not like we're not doing completely, like we make some action, but
You also are not making any action. Action is seen by you. Please see. Some action, is happening, and you are witnessing that. To say that, I am making some action right now. That's why I gave the example of, even if I say, I am speaking, the speaking is happening. What part of that speaking I am doing?
Yeah.
I am simply seeing. Oh, it's so magical, mystical, in a way, wonderful.
Yeah. You want to do, there is an intent, then there is some magic, and you see something, and it happens so fast that we think that like we are doing it.
A thought appeared that I should speak, and then speech is happening. Now is where, this, I come and say, I spoke. Another thought, simply, our politicians do know. They come and cut a ribbon, and then they want hundreds of people to take photographs, and then tomorrow, Sina Podke, I did it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to claim when something is successful. Who sent the rocket to moon? Everybody wants to claim. Why did we fail in Chandrayana 2? Nobody wants to talk about it. No, it is not our policy. If that followed our policy, we would have sent in Chandrayana 2 also. In Chandrayana 3 goes, our policy, see? So like that, there is a false ownership.
Yeah.
Happening is not nullified through this discussion. It is not to say that, you are not a participant. You are a very important participant. It is through you, through whatever is being referred as you, that is, that body and mind, and whatever that is there, through that talent, certain, see, for example, when something happens, it is through a certain body and mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the combination. But is that body and mind alone responsible for the entire outcome? No.
No. Yeah.
It is there, but you, the real you, are not the doer. You are simply the one in whose presence it is happening.
Yeah.
Does this bring clarity, Krishnaji?
Yes. 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 Vijay. Very clear. Yeah.
Is there any other question or statement?
I just want to bring one more thing.
Yes, Shashiji.
Actually, we no need to inform like we are only doing. It's all scripted. So we are just following our karma. That's it. So every day we are
Let's
getting
take
up.
it as a separate topic, whether it is scripted. In other words, generally we say predestined, versus is there any kind of intention that can shape, that requires another discussion.
Free
But
will
let
versus
us take the point that, okay, that's also one of the way of looking at reality, that everything is predestined. Then what is my role?
We just have to work, nothing else. That's it.
Work for what? It's all predestined. What work I have to do? It's anyway predestined. I'm sitting. Why are you sitting? Predestined. I'm standing. Why are you standing? Predestined.
No,
Sleeping.
I'm just saying like this time this will happen. Already it's written over.
If it is written, then why I have to? Oh, it is written that I have to. One day I will be enlightened. So why effort? So I'm not trying to put down your point. I'm only trying to put an alternate viewpoint that is generally discussed. So is it predestined, or is there anything called as a individual effort, intent? So we have to understand this clearly. What you're saying is not being called as incorrect, because all of this is in a particular context, in a particular right frame of reference we have to understand. Otherwise, out of reference, out of that context, it will be taken in a different manner. Because whatever Sri Krishna is talking about, for example, here in this shloka, it is applicable to somebody who thinks he or she is a body and mind. It is applicable to such a individual. He is not here referring to a jnani in this particular shloka. But if I take this shloka and apply it to a jnani, then, and the jnani's behavior is something else, then I will have a totally wrong understanding. So in a similar way, the statement you're making, Sashiji, I'm not denying. We have to understand it in the right context. So therefore, let us take it for a further deliberation in a focused session. It's a very important question. Is that okay?
Okay, Vijayji.
Thank you. Saravanji, Shubhaji, is there anything else? Shall we conclude this?
Yeah, then we can conclude.
Hari Om.